Welcome to the Sunday Update. Nath Gardner with you. To Melbourne first, 4 people believed to be children are unaccounted for after an early morning house fire in the suburb of Werribee. A man, a woman and an 8-year-old boy were able to escape the fire and are being treated for smoke-related injuries. The exact cause of the fire is yet to be determined. Thousands of demonstrators have taken to the streets of capital cities across the country protesting vaccine mandates and lockdowns. Victorian Liberal Democrats MP Tim Quilty took part in Melbourne.
It was absolutely massive. They were ordinary Victorians. They were multicultural. They come from all over the state. They were all ages.
While protests were also staged in European cities, Dutch police were forced to open fire at rioters in Rotterdam, with dozens injured and 20 arrests made. 2 lockdown communities in the Northern Territory have had food and essential supplies delivered to homes. A further 9 people have tested positive to COVID in Binjara near Katherine. Warnings from the World Health Organization: COVID deaths in Europe could rise by 500,000 by March next year. Cases across parts of the continent are surging as the European winter approaches. WHO Dr. Hans Kluger says urgent action such as boosting vaccination and mask wearing must be taken.
COVID-19 has become once again the number 1 cause of mortality in our region, but we know what to do. So in that sense, it's not a doom scenario, and I think that's important to explain to the people. We know what needs to be done.
In India, at least 17 people are dead and dozens more missing as flooding ravages the country's south. And international tourists are allowed back in Vietnam after almost 2 years. To sport now, in the supercars, Shane van Gisbergen has grabbed his 14th win of the season, taking out race 29 in wet conditions in Sydney overnight.
Some corners were slippery, some corners weren't, but actually the lights, you could see how wet it was. So, yeah, and thankfully the hard tyre guys were really struggling and we could catch them, but yeah, that was awesome. So much fun.
And the opening round of the A-League continues with the Jets facing the Mariners and McCarthy playing Wellington. Overnight, Victory beat Western United. A scoreless draw between the Wanderers and Sydney FC, and Perth and Adelaide ended in a 1-1 draw. To entertainment news now, Channel 7 has suspended reporter and Weekend Sunrise presenter Matt Doran for 2 weeks because he offended Adele. It's after admitting while interviewing the Grammy Award winner that he hadn't listened to her new album. Aussie TV icon Ernie Dingo continues to deal with death threats after the 65-year-old helped Western Australia lift its COVID vaccination rates. And Ghostbusters Afterlife is outperforming expectations at the box office, tipped to rake in $40 million this weekend. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for another episode of The Update.